Hello everyone, Luke Fordsmith here. We're going to do another file reading today of Resident Evil 6, but Chris's campaign, and he's fighting bioterrorism in this one with a team of BSAA soldiers. Yeah, this is his section is very actiony, isn't it? And that's what puts me off of playing Resident Evil 6. Like the action, not in my Resident Evil game. I know that yes, the new ones have action scenes, but this one just takes the piss. So we're gonna read Chris's files. So Chris Redfield. Chris Redfield is a 39-year-old BSAA operative working for its North American branch. He was the leader of Alpha Team until he suffered post-traumatic amnesia and wound up being a belligerent drunk in the underbelly of Eastern Europe. Around this time, a biohazard outbreak in China shocks the world. Piers Nibbons, his teammate on Alpha, finds Chris and convinces him to resume his leadership in the role of the BSAA. Despite his memory loss, Chris retains the fortitude and leadership skills that make him one of the top BSAA agents. So yeah, Chris is basically a washed up drunk at the start of this game. The BSAA, this is going to be a good one. In the wake of the Umbrella Corporation's disillusion in 2003, that's basically when their stocks collapsed, when Chris and Gil took them out in Russia and got the data to prove of their guilt, of the Umbrella's guilt, which completely fucked Umbrella. In 2003, many other pharmaceutical companies saw their bioorganic weapons research enter the black market. That's when things really hit the fan. Whenever in the hands of organised crime or terrorists, bioweapons are destroying lives around the world. In response to voices calling for action to be taken, the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium formed the anti-terrorist task force known as the Bioterrorism Security Assignment Alliance, BSAA. I always wanted to know what that stands for. Initially, the BSAA was just a civilian organisation with only advisory status. But as the threat posed by bioterrorism spread, United Nations decided to sponsor the group in order to have a quick response force that could deal with threats around the world. With its new sponsorship in place, the BSAA gained the authority to carry out investigations in countries the world over and make arrests whenever it is dispatched. In other words, they're basically the opposite Umbrella. This lot actually helps people. Garvo, the C virus will turn human hosts into creatures called Garvo. These creatures lose all self-control, but they fail to inhibit any noticeable drop in mental functions. This would explain reports of Garvo skillfully handling firearms and communicating with other Garvo in their country's native tongue. Garvo will tend to follow the final orders they are given before being infected with the C virus. And they will do this with no thought of their own safety or well-being. The virus creates an intense, feeble state in the host, and the more the host is damaged, the hotter it becomes. Many Garvo have been to succumb to their wounds, burning to death in the bright hot flames that engulf their bodies. That's the thing, is like sometimes when they set fire, they basically evolve from that. They form like a cocoon, and like a few minutes later, they are reborn into a more powerful biohazard, powerful bioorganic weapon. It actually is quite fucking scary, that sort of thing. Here we go, the Garvo mutations. After the C virus turns an infected human into a Garvo, the host will continue to mutate, with its mutation usually occurring in a specific section of the body. When a host body is damaged, it regenerates the properties of the C virus. The regenerative properties of the C virus will attempt to repair the damage. The repairs replace normal human tissue with whatever that word is, insect-like appendages. In some cases, the repairs take on a utilization process, replacing the arms with scythes or shield-like appendages. Other reports say that Garvo sprouted wings and gained the ability to fly. This is what makes the fucking game ridiculous. Certain mutations, like the aforementioned wings, has also been observed on a number of occasions. The exact number of type of mutations that actually exist is unknown at the time. That's the thing, is like there is loads of mutations in this game. There's like loads of different characteristics and that sort of thing. It's like ridiculous. Piers Nibbins. Piers Nibbins is a 26-year-old BSAA operative working for its North American branch. Chris Redfield is his commanding officer. His hand-eye coordination and concentration skills are without peer, making him the BSAA's top-ranking sniper. He can react quickly to the challenging conditions on the battlefield, and as such, he will usually find a way to complete his mission in spite of many adverse conditions. A serious and determined man in battle, he still has time to offer kind words for his fellow soldiers. It is these qualities that causes CO, commanding officer, to comment that the future of the BSAA rests on his shoulders of men like him. Nibbins himself prefers not to think of his team as subordinates, but as members of a big family. That's actually a good thing to believe in. He believes that the strength of the BSAA hinges on the bonds of all of its agents. He holds Captain Redfield in highest respect, and Captain Redfield trusts him impeccably. That's good. I mean, it is actually sad what happens to Piers in the game, but he is actually like really fond of Chris and in his team. So, yeah. Ogro-Man. Ogro-Man. Is that it? Ogro. Sounds a bit racist if you say it like that. Ogro-Man. The Ogro-Man is a type of BOW used by the insurgents during the civil war in Adonia. Ogro-Man is derived from the Serbian for big body. I thought I was going to say big boy. It's that giant creature that you fight multiple times. It's really fucking annoying. As the name would suggest, the creature is one of the largest stable BOWs known to exist. The strength is impeccable, and it's violent and destructive. These BOWs lack intelligence and will act just on the orders they were given without thought or hesitation. Such an annoying boss, really. The C virus. Didn't we already read that in No, we didn't. Okay, it must be a Chris only file then. The C virus will turn human hosts into creatures called Garvo. The virus mutates the host in horrific ways, and it is the latest bioorganic weapon to threaten the safety of the world. One of its first known uses was as a health-preserving drug given to mercenary soldiers in one of Eastern Europe's most insane conflicts. Following its use in Europe, many Garvo-like creatures began to turn up around the world. The C stands for chrysalid. Is that chrysalid? I don't know. I thought it was the Kala virus, because for some reason I thought it was like the Kala virus. As the virus will encase a human host in a cocoon-like shell before its final mutation. that is swimming. Like, I think the C virus is one of the most scariest ones out there. That and the T abyss virus, because it's actually horrific what it does to people. Nepad. Nepad is a creature that results from a high level mutations brought on by its exposure to the C virus. Nepad is derived from the Syrian word for assault. This creature has a hard, protective epidermis as well as dense, rough, tough musculature. The creature attacks by swinging its large, powerful arms recklessly. When it becomes excited, it has often been observed to thump on its chest like a gorilla. The Nepad's standard body temperature is much higher than a Garvo's. So high, in fact, that its body constantly gives off steam in order to maintain a non-life-threatening temperature level. How Nepad manages to let off steam without dehydrating itself is unknown. Any damage to the creature whenever it's gunshots or blunt force trauma will chip away its shell like exterior, revealing its softer muscle tissue underneath. The nerve centre under the shell on its back is very sensitive. Damage to this area will kill a creature more instantly. I'm trying to remember what creature that is. Oh, I can't think. I can't really think what creature that is. Finn Macaulay. Finn Macaulay is a 22-year-old BSAA operative working for its North American branch. The first real action he sees is in Adonia Civil War. Chris Redfield is his commanding officer. He is honest and sincere, if somehow timid. He is an explosive expert. He is tasked with destroying barricades and anti-aircraft gun turrets. Unfortunately, he falls victim to Ada's he falls victim to Ada, in other words. Succumbing to an infection after he turns into one of the things into one of the very BOWs he's been tasked with fighting. After losing his humanity due to transformation into the mindless creature, he is killed by the BSAA troops dispatched to Adonia to dispose of the BOWs. Again, it's a really sad ending for him. There was absolutely nothing wrong with the guy, but Ada just killed him, or pretend Ada, Carla. But Chris doesn't know that until the very end of the game, near to the end of the game. Chris's amnesia. Chris Redfield suffered post-traumatic amnesia after he and his team were caught up in a trap sprung by Ada Wong in the Republic of Adonia. Most of his team died, and a unconscious Chris was brought to the local hospital. Upon waking up, Chris has no recollection of who he was or what had occurred, but his mind was racked by an overwhelming and inexplicable guilt. Chris decided to run away, and he left the hospital before anyone could check on him, until Piers Nibbons and the BSAA found him. Chris lived as a moody and a violent drunk, hoping that he could numb himself to the pain of what happened on that fateful day. It's a bit of a tragic one, but luckily the BSAA actually snapped him out of it and basically got him better again. Basawan. That's a good name. Basawan is a shantytown district located in the Chinese city of Wayip, built around the remains of a ruined fortress. Chris Redfield and Alpha Team chased a BOW with a highly developed camouflage ability to this area. In the early 20th century, the area was a base of operations for British colonialism. Good old British colonising everything. We still need to do that to this very day. I don't know why we stopped colonising everything. We need to do it again. The Empire of China was able to rally the surrounding peoples to expedite the British from their land. Following British abandonment, the areas of Busan lapsed into a lawless zone. With no one in control, the people started building dwellings haphazardly until they piled up on the current labyrinth mess of the district today. The Chinese didn't know how to build properly, and they still do not know how to build today. That's why you got tofu dregs over in China all the time. It's ridiculous. A name that I cannot pronounce is a creature that results from a high-level mutation brought on by exposure by the C virus. It's derived from the Siberian word phantom. Oh, this is a snake, isn't it? The giant snake creature. This creature closely resembles a monstrously large snake, one that can camouflage its body and blend into its surroundings. When the creature spots its prey, it starts to behave erratically. When it is in a weakened state, its ability to camouflage itself is greatly reduced. To compensate for its loss of defense mechanisms, parts of its skin will become extremely hard, making it difficult to harm with conventional weapons. Yeah, I thought it was a snake. Chris's file. Chris Redfield began his military career as a pilot in the United States Air Force. His unwillingness to compromise brought him into direct conflict with his superiors. Unable to settle these differences, Chris retired from the Air Force, and he was scouted by the Raccoon City Special Forces STARS because of his superior fighting skills and the pilot qualifications. After what came to be known as the Mansion incident on the outskirts of Raccoon City, Chris set off on his own to stop Umbrella and make the world aware of the threat of bioweapons. Oh god, I'm so tired, it's like ridiculous how tired I am. I even got up at a decent time, I don't know why I'm still tired. Probably got a cold or something. Following Umbrella's divulsion in 2003, Chris decided to join the BSAA and continue his fight. To be fair, I always thought Chris Redfield actually founded the BSAA, so it must have been going like before like he joined. I thought he made it himself. Okay. And continue the fight. This brought him to Africa in 2009. And into direct conflict with his former boss, Albert Wesker. Chris killed Wesker during the operation, and he was finally able to put rest all the ghosts of Umbrella and Raccoon City. In 2012, during an operation in Adonia, all his BSAA soldiers, except for Piers Nibbons, are turned into BOWs. Chris suffered from head trauma that led to amnesia, and it wasn't until 6 months later that Piers was able to find him again. And this thing is like, you actually play Chris's chapter, or Chris's scenario, before and after he gets amnesia. So, yeah, quite interesting the way it does it. Chris and Leon. Chris Redfield and Leon Kennedy worked for two different organisations and have no reasons to interact with each other, but they do share one connection: Chris's sister Claire. Following the Mansion incident in 1998, Chris set out for Europe on his own, determined to bring down Umbrella. Before he left, he neglected to inform Claire as to his whereabouts, so she came to Raccoon City to find him. There, she met Leon, and together they fought their way out of the horrors of Raccoon City. Claire was then reunited with Chris on Rockford Island. Technically, it wasn't Rockford Island, it was the Antarctic base that was just off the island. She loves and respects her brother, and she considers Leon a trusted friend. With Claire as a mutual contact, it would only be a matter of time before the two met. I can't believe it took till Resident Evil 6 for Leon and Chris to actually meet for the first time. It's like ridiculous. I mean, yeah, they probably like kept in contact like by phone or internet, but still. Although the interactions between their respective organisations are highly restricted, that's probably why they couldn't meet up. When they finally met, both were able to understand each other's deep convictions, particularly those related to the eradication of bioorganic weapons. Yeah. Neo Umbrella. In Adonia, Chris and his BSAA team fell into a trap set by Ada Wong. She used the C virus to turn his team into BOWs. As the leader of Neo Umbrella, Ada brought the C virus that had been developed in China to the civil war in Adonia, where she secretly gave it to the insurgents to administer to its mercenary fighters. The mercenaries then mutated into creatures known as Garvo, and she gathered the data on their transformations. Chris has spent most of his life fighting the pharmaceutical company Umbrella, almost losing it on numerous occasions. It's not hard to imagine what he thought when he first heard the name Neo Umbrella, and why Ada named her organisation such as a question that only she could answer. That's the thing. It's like Neo Umbrella, like Umbrella Reborn, Raccoon City all over again, sort of thing. So he had to deal with it then and there. From the files of Neo Umbrella. 2. Are we actually getting some like in-game lore now? Thank God. 2. All the Neo Umbrella staff. As of 11:29 p.m. today, our leader Ada Wong's vital signs ceased. At the same time, Plan D was shown to be activated. All personnel in our Far East facilities are urged to head for one of the predetermined safety zones. This emergency notice is for all human staff and not for Garvo test subjects. An emergency cable will be sent to the underwater facility once Plan D is fully in motion. That's the thing. So like after she died, well, Carla died. Plan D was basically a rocket firing into a city and basically infecting hundreds of thousands of people. So yeah, very bad. Pierce's file. Like all the men in Piers Niven's family has been in the military, going all the way back to his great-grandfather. For as long as he could remember, Piers wanted to follow in his father's footsteps. He graduated at the top of his class from an elite military academy, where he was highly recognised for his skills as a sniper. Following graduation, he joined the Army Special Forces. Not long after joining the Special Forces, he became disillusioned. While he continued to participate in drills without a hitch, he yearned for some greater calling, a reason for all of his training. In 2010, he found that calling when Chris Redfield, impressed with Piers' sniper skills, asked him to join the BSAA. Piers was impressed by the way Chris ran Alpha Team. He treated them like family, and not like expendable soldiers. Chris, for his part, knew that he couldn't be a field agent forever, which is why he recruited Piers. Chris believes that the future of the BSAA lies with talented individuals like Piers, and Piers, for his part, now has a cause worth fighting for. That's the thing. It's just like when Chris and Piers enters the underwater facility, Chris basically tells him when this is all over, Chris is going to retire and let Piers take over, basically. So yeah, he put a lot of trust in him, which unfortunately we all know Piers didn't make it out of there. So Chris had to continue in the BSAA. Where was I? That's the PS file. Chris and Albert. Chris Redfield and Albert Wesker, Jake Mueller's father, have a history that goes back to when the two were on the same Stars team and encountered the world's first known BOWs during the Mansion incident in 1998. It turned out later that this incident was engineered by Albert, who was working for Umbrella. As a result, Chris lost many good friends and colleagues. Chris set out to stop Umbrella and prevent the spread of BOWs, which led him into conflict with Albert on numerous occasions. In 2009, Chris found himself in Africa as he attempted to stop Albert from murdering a majority of the planet's population. During their battle, Albert mutated himself into a BOW, but he was killed thanks to Chris and his partner Sheva Alomar. Thankfully, Albert's plans for global genocide were never realised. It is rumoured that he might be back, or it might be like Alex Wesker as Natalia coming back for another game. Resident Evil 9 most likely, we do not know. So yeah, I don't think the Wesker saga is fully over yet. I think it can continue in a way. Maybe another clone, because like the Wesker children was basically test subjects, and it was Wesker and Alex that Albert and Alex that were the only survivors. What if there was another one? We do not know. Underwater facility. Neo Umbrella's deep sea research facility was built so the group could have a secret location to create BOWs. Teams of scientists extracted magma from below the ocean floor to find bacteria and microbes that could thrive in such extreme conditions, and then added their traits to the sea virus to give life to powerful BOWs. Where Neo Umbrella found the financial backing to construct such an august facility remains unknown. The government, it's like the government gives terrorists a lot of money, to be fair. Haos, the weird enemy right at the end of the game, the weird boss creature, the lightning thing. Well, not lightning, because like a sea creature. Haos is a gigantic BOW and the ultimate weapon created by Neo Umbrella at his underwater facility. This creature has translucent skin, making humanoid bone structure and internal organs visible to the naked eye. In addition, there is also gas-producing organs that secrete gas that turns humans into zombies. The gas is thousands of times more concentrated than Lapiosa, and its potential infection radius is just as explosionary wide. In other words, it can do a ton more damage than the other monster. Should it ever reach the surface, it would follow its programming and continue to divide and multiply. In only a few days of these Haos creatures would contaminate the entire planet. In the event of Neo Umbrella's leader, Ada Wong's death, the Haos creature would still be released. However, depending on what occurs, there is a possibility that the creature could be released at a incomplete stage of its development, which technically it was, because it wasn't ready when the thing hatched, and it wasn't as like completed power. So yeah, but it's still quite a big monster, so very, very scary monster that is. So yeah, the only ones we've got left is Jake and Sherry and Ada Wong. So I think that'd be it for today. I'm gonna try and get this out sometime tomorrow, Sunday. Monday and Tuesday I'll be doing the rest of the files, the Jake files and the Ada files, so that'll be the Resident Evil files all completed by Tuesday, and I'll see you in the next video.